All right, so going on, y'all. Just kind of giving y'all an idea of some of the equipment that I use. It's not really a complicated setup. It's actually pretty easy. So, the first or one of the main pieces of gear that I use is it's an Apollo Twin, and this is a USB one. So, this one is made exclusively for Windows computers. It uses a USB 3.0 cord, and it's pretty good. It's very warm, like analog sounding, because I've used the twin that's on the Mac, and it comes off a little bit bright, but this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Like, I like the sound. I've tried every preamp. I've tweaked. Like, you can get great sound as long as, you know what I'm saying, you know what you're doing. The computer that I use, this is a Asus gaming computer. You can see right here the emblem or the symbol. And yeah, I pretty much updated it. I think when I got this, it's actually about a 5-6 year old computer. I got it in 2019-ish. So when I got the computer at the end of 2019, literally it came with, I think, 16 gigs of memory and 500 gigs of hard drive space. And then I ended up upgrading that to 32 gigs of memory, which I maxed it out, and I added a whole tera of a second hard drive to it. So now it has 1,500 gigs total, and it has 32 gigs of RAM. So you know what I mean? It's like a workhorse. So that's the computer. Now the monitors, I got these are the Yamaha HS8s. Just don't mind the cables. I know it's kind of messy, but just don't mind the cables. But yeah, so these are the Yamaha HS8s. They're like the biggest speaker model within the HS series, because I believe you have 5, 7s, and then the 8s. So the frequency range, it ranges from like, I think it's like, I don't know if it's like 25 or 30K, all the way down to like 30 hertz or something, like 30K hertz, all the way down to like 20 hertz. It goes down to. So you can really like mix with these without a sub, but having a sub is always nice too. But you can really get like a really good mix, I feel like, without a sub. And I use Arc with it too, Arc 3, to go ahead and like create that flat line EQ, so that I'm getting more of a what you can say, more of a mix that translate on different speakers better. So those are the two. I got it on the other stand over here. I used to have it standing up. And yeah, one day I was like, let me just try and lay him down. And I kind of like how it sounds when I lay him down. I don't know why. I think because where my seated position is, I'm able to, like I sit right here at the keyboard. Just don't mind all the wires, but I sit here right here at the keyboard, and it's like based on where this is at, it allows me to kind of be right in the middle of that 3-point triangle. You know what I'm saying? To be able to hear the high end really, really well. Like, I don't know. I just really like it. I get some sweet mixes being right here in the center. So, you got that. I'm going to take you guys to the booth. So, here's the booth, right? We just got a like, we're trying to mess around with some green screen activity. So, I bought like a green screen sheet right here. So, that's kind of cool. And I got this monitor in here because, a lot of times when I'm working with artists, it's kind of dope for them to be able to see the process as I edit, because I kind of mix as I go. So I start with a template. I'll go ahead and just have them do a sound check, get their vocals kind of, sauced up to where like they got a little reverb compression. And, I'll go ahead and then start recording them and then cutting takes and doing that all within that same process. And it just allows me to be able to show them how and what I'm doing. So like, for example, if they're, hold on, let me go back. Okay, there it is. So this right here is showing what's coming on my laptop, which was just in the living room. So if you look right here, got right here, that's in the booth, but that is what's on the big screen TV. So while I'm out here and I'm working at the keyboard, they're able to see what I'm doing as far as the editing, the takes that I'm taking right here inside the booth. So that's pretty dope. It kind of helps them kind of navigate. They might see a take and be like, yo, I like 16, or I like take 33, and they're able to vocalize it. If I need to do some nudging and they want to get in on, just where they think I should nudge stuff, it kind of allows them to be able to like physically be involved in that process visually. So I think that's dope. So yeah, so I got padding on the wall. I can't even remember where I got all this padding from, but I know I got some from somebody. And I had collected a couple pieces over the years. So this is just all of the padding that I've acquired like over the years. I just put it all into the booth. So you can see I got some bass traps up here. Then yeah, it's like the wall of artists right here. You know what I'm saying? Biggie, whole bunch of dope artists, Dr. Dre in the picture. Yeah. So, but yeah, so I put all my foam up, and it's a pretty tight sound. Like when you listen, it's like real tight. Like I'm flicking my fingers, but you barely can hear. You know what I'm saying? You barely can hear any like echo once you're in here. So let's talk a little bit about the mic. So the mic that I use is the Townsend. It's a Townsend Sphere mic. So this is a modeling mic. So I know they. Okay, so basically what they did, right? Townsend used to work for Universal Audio, I believe, and he created this coloration mic, this mic modeling mic, right? And what it does is it can model different types of mics, right? Similar to like that of the Slate mic, but it's a little bit, in my opinion, better because it records from both the front and the back. So the polar patterns that other natural microphones have that are created by recording in the front and the back, it can recreate those patterns the exact way how the original mic did it. And that's kind of like the difference between that and the Slate mic. The Slate mic still only records in the front. So it's kind of mimicking a polar pattern that's not exactly right. But the Townsend can actually like redial that polar pattern the exact way it is on the actual mic. And the polar patterns, I believe, is just where it picks up from. You know what I'm saying? Like how it picks up from the front and the back. So, but yeah, it's a dope mic. So you could change this into a U87. You could change it into a U47. You can change it into a C800, which is like most popular for like rappers. What are some of the dope mics that are on here? A lot of AKGs. They got the 414 on here. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's so many mics on here, man. Like, you got the I think it's the U49 or something like that. I think that's the mic. It's like a short. It looks like the U87, but it's like a smaller version, like a smaller length. They got that in here. And then they have a whole bunch of like drum type mics, you know what I mean? Guitar like type mics that you could use. And then the other cool thing about this, guys, is that you can actually blend mic tones. So like, let's say I wanted to take like, because they have two type of U87. So let's say I wanted to take the vintage, which is a warmer U87, and I wanted to kind of blend it with the Sony C800, right? I can blend both of those, blend like the high end from the Sony C800, and then maybe take like the warm from the U87 and make it into one mic. So now your mic tone can literally be unique to your particular like own style, like to where like nobody has that mic color, you know what I mean? So I think it's cool, man. It's like when you kind of get into it, you realize that like, yo, I could do so many things with just this one mic. And that's why I got it, because even though I've never really had access to use the real mics, which are like tens and $20,000s of dollars, being able to hear this mic and hear what those mics are like, the modeling of those mics, it gave me a familiarity to know what they sound like and to understand what I like. And that was enough for me. You know what I mean? That was enough for me. But yeah, so, and the headphones that I use, the headphones, nothing special. These are kind of beat up, but they're Soundcores. I really like Soundcore headphones. The reason why, let me tell you why I still have these and they look like they're about 50 years old, right? The thing is with Soundcore, when you plug it in through hardwire, for whatever reason, this is the only pair that I've been able to turn the drivers on while they're hardwired, like plug in. Usually the drivers only turn on when you are on Bluetooth. But for this particular one, because I bought two other pairs and the drivers would not turn on when you plug them in with hardwire. So, but for some reason, this pair always is able to turn on. So I just kept it. And yeah, man, I just taped it up. It looks like, real like busted, but it still works, man. And it sounds fantastic. So I just want my, artists to be able to hear dope like hear a dope sonic when they're recording, because it just makes you record better. It's like anything else. Like when you got reverb on your voice, you know what I'm saying? When you got some compression on your voice, like for the artist to hear that, it just makes you record better. It's just dope. So yeah, and that's pretty much it, man. Like that's really the whole studio. You know what I mean? You can see the stand. I got like a little weight to hold it together, and that's the whole studio. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna actually go in and start showing you guys like the software that I use, break down kind of like my workflow within software. I use Cubase and I use FL, so I consider myself a hybrid. But yeah, I'll show you guys that next. So on the next video.